Hi y'all, Dwayne here. Agnes has asked me to make the most delicious cake you'll ever taste. I've been making this cake for probably more years than I want to remember. It was an old recipe somebody gave me very many years ago. And it's always requested when I ask people and we're going to a gathering, whether it be a holiday, party, whatever, what can I bring? They always say, bring your rum cake. Yes, we're gonna make a rum cake today. And yes, we will be using real rum. We won't be using artificial flavoring. That's part of the flavor of this cake, is having good rum in it. You don't even have to like rum to like the cake. It comes out very moist. It keeps for days. It's just a very easy cake to make, probably the most easiest cake you'll ever make in your life. So let's get started. First thing you want to do, set your oven to 325. You got to preheat your oven because it's going to have to bake a while. And then get yourself a bundt pan. That's B-U-N-D-T, bundt. Have no idea why they call it a bundt pan. I should have done some research and found out so I could educate you, but if you know, leave a message at the bottom here. Tell me how we came up with the bundt pan, the name of the bundt pan, and let me know. I'll be educated too. Okay, let's get going here. We're going to spray the pan with some vegetable oil. That's so it doesn't stick when we flip it over, because eventually after this thing cooks, you're going to be putting it on a plate and flipping it over and bringing it up to make sure that it doesn't stick to the pan and you're able to get a nice clean cake as it falls out. And add a little bit of flour to it to give it make sure that we don't have anything sticking here. So this will take a minute, won't take too long. Just kind of sift it around like this and get the flour to stick. You can see what I'm doing here. Let's get a little more. Okay, yeah, that's good. There's also a spray that has flour in it. It's a vegetable spray that has flour in it, which is what I usually use. I just don't happen to have any today. So we're gonna have to improvise with some regular spray and the flour. You can also use butter. You could also put some butter in your hand and put butter in here, just anything to keep it from sticking when you pull it out. Okay, I think we're almost through here. And that's kind of, if you will, the way you want it to look. Okay. After you have your pan greased up real good, you want to take some pecans. You want to take 1 cup of pecans, or pecans as we call it here in Texas. Or you could use any other nut, I guess. You could use walnuts, you could use macadamia nut, whatever you want to do, because the nuts are going to be on top of the cake when this is finished. So, but we use pecans here in Texas, but you can use what you want. Can you even get pecans in the Philippines, honey?
I think so.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just thought about that. Either that or we'll just have to take some seeds. We'll plant a pecan tree. How's that sound?
That will take like at least 10 years to grow.
Yeah, that's true. I'll just buy some.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're going to put it at the bottom of the pan, your pecans. Up. There's the oven, 325. We're ready to go, ready to put this thing in when it gets ready. And we're going to put this aside for now and start with the mix. First thing, the first thing is a bag or a box of yellow cake mix.
Any kind?
Any kind. Well, I use a particular brand, which I'm not going to say, but it is a yellow cake mix, super moist. You want to look for the super moist cake mix, yellow cake mix, and there's some that has a buttery cake mix too. Either one of them is fine, but you definitely want to look for the super moist. You kind of put that in a big bowl. And you take a box of vanilla instant pudding, not the kind you cook. Always look at the box before you buy it and make sure it says instant pudding. And you take that and you put it together with the cake mix.
Oh, I thought before it's just the cake mix itself.
No, secret ingredient is the vanilla pudding.
I know it now.
Believe it or not. But I'm telling you, this is going to be the most moist cake you'll ever eat and the most tasty. And as I said earlier, you don't even have to like rum to have it, but it does give it a nice flavor. Makes it real nice. Okay. So we'll take a half cup. We're going to put a half a cup of, I need a vegetable oil. Or you can use canola oil. I happen to have canola oil. So you want half a cup of oil. Half a cup. Half cup. 1.5 cup of cold milk. Half a cup of cold milk. I don't know why you put hot milk in it, but it says cold. So we'll go with that. And then, what makes this cake good is a half a cup of rum. Use dark rum, not light rum. Use the dark.
What brand do you use? That's 1 cup.
Oh, I'm glad you showed me. See, that's what I have here to make sure I can see what I'm doing.
What brand do you use?
You can use any brand of rum you like. Bacardi. You could use Ronrico, Palms, the Spexels, or if you're in the Philippines, the Tanduay rum is really good. They make a good rum in the Philippines, so you can certainly use Tanduay. Is that how you pronounce that?
Tanduay.
Tanduay? Whatever. So it's good rum too, so you can use that too. So you want to pour half a cup, and give or take a little bit. There you go. Sometimes some people like it stronger, some like it not quite as strong, and I can go either way. But definitely the minimum of a half cup, and if some of it spills over a little bit, it's not gonna hurt you. 4 eggs. Egg, 4. 1, 2. And I dropped it. Oh well, 3. And number 4. So now you've got in this mixing dish, you've got your cake mix, you've got your vanilla pudding, you've got a half a cup of rum, half a cup of cold milk, half a cup of vegetable oil or granola, and 4 eggs. Now we're going to take that and just mix it up really good with a hand beater. This will take a few minutes. Get it on high. You want to get it mixed real good. Back up. So you want to get all that powder from the cake mixes and the cake mix and the vanilla pudding to mix well with the liquid, so you can't see any more of the mix inside. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Nice and creamy. Want to dig under it, make sure you don't have any of the mix still not mixed up. Just kind of stir. You want to take that and pour into your bundt pan. B-U-N-D-T pan. Still haven't figured out why they call it a bundt pan, but I'm hoping somebody will be able to tell me that, or I'll have to look it up later. Now I've got my curiosity up. Why do they call it a bundt pan? I don't know. So now you want to just get this poured in there real nicely and slowly so you don't miss any out. For your cake, that will rise and pretty much overtake the top of the bundt pan when this is done. Cooking time is about an hour. We'll put this in the oven at 325 for about an hour, and when after the is baked, about 10 minutes before it finishes baking, we will do a clear glaze to pour over the bottom of the cake that will sink into the cake in a short time and become more of a sweet flavor with the batter. That makes sense? Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Had a long day. Went to lunch with my cousin today, and when we go to lunch, we well, let's just say we have a good time. So I'm a little slow this evening, but we'll get there.
You always have fun when I'm working.
Yeah, well, it's nice. I miss you though. I always wish you were here. Anytime we go out, I always wish you were here.
I know. It's okay. We're gonna have it this weekend.
Tasty. We'll clean up the top of the pan a little bit, just kind of bounce it, kind of make it even, and this is how it's going to look. So now we're going to put it in the oven, like I said earlier, for about an hour. Let it bake through and through, and then we'll come back and put a glaze on it. So we'll see you in about an hour. We're back. Cake's been cooking a little over an hour, so I've taken it out to let it start cooling. We've done the toothpick test. If you don't know what the toothpick test is, take a toothpick, stick it into the cake. If it comes up clean, it's ready. Probably something most of you know, but if you've not baked very many cakes, you may not know that. So there's a little bit of information, but it looks great. It's risen up like it's supposed to, and got a nice little crust here that Agnes likes to pick off and eat. She likes that more than the cake itself, so we'll accommodate her with that, a few of those pieces. And while I was waiting for the cake, I started the glaze. The glaze that you put over the cake is a half cup of butter, or a stick of butter, a cup of sugar, and a quarter cup of water. And you mix this all in and let it start boiling for about 5 minutes. It's been boiling probably about 4 right now, so you want to let it boil and stir it constantly so it doesn't stick, that it get all bubbly, and it kind of cooks itself down a little bit as it starts to thicken. So we'll just kind of look at this for a few minutes, and hopefully we'll be ready to pour this over the cake, and we'll go from there. And Agnes is still over there picking on the crust from the bottom of the cake. So hopefully there's some left before I get over there. That's her favorite part though. Okay, it's looking good. It's thickening up a little bit. It's cooking down. The sugar and the butter is mixing very well together. See, we are continuing to stir it. It's cooked itself down quite a bit. It's getting a little thick, so we're just about ready to add the last ingredient to the glaze and pour it over the cake. Let's give this just another minute. Keep stirring it. Don't want it to stick. Almost there. Almost. Okay. Then as soon as this kind of works its way down where you think it's boiled enough, we'll take it off the heat and take a half a cup of rum and pour in it. Now watch this burn when I pour this in. Watch that steam come out. That's the rum mixing in with the butter and the sugar. And you just stir that up real good, let it put it back on the heat, let it heat a little bit longer, and then you have got a nice little glaze to put over the cake. So we'll come back over here to the cake, and we will just pour this over like this. Just surround it all over the cake and let it just start soaking up the glaze. This will probably take about 15-20 minutes for it to soak up, and then we'll be able to turn the cake over on a plate and take a bite, hopefully. So that's the last thing we do for now. We'll let this sit for a while, let all that glaze be soaked up by the cake, and we'll be back at you in about 5 or 10 minutes. Hey y'all, we're back. The cake has been absorbing the glaze for about 10-15 minutes now. You can look up, see how it's kind of got a glassy sheen to the top of it. There's no more, you don't see any more liquid as we did when we poured it in. You were seeing it kind of gather all around the cake, but now it's all been absorbed into the cake, hopefully all the way into the bottom. Now comes the fun part, trying to flip this thing on a plate like that and hope it doesn't tear. So we take our platter, kind of center it the best you can, and hopefully we can do this without messing it up. So 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3. Get it work. Voila, a rum cake. See how the glaze has reached all the way to the bottom, or to, now it's called the top, but this was the bottom, to the pecans, or pecans, whatever you want to call them. And you can see by the darkness here of where the glaze has soaked itself into the cake itself. It gives it a nice sweet flavor as you bite into it. So we're going to let this cool for about another 10-15 minutes, and we'll take a bite of it and see how it tastes. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. So we'll be back in a little bit. Hey y'all, we're back. We're going to cut the cake and take a bite of it and see how it turned out and let you know. It's been cooling about another 10 minutes since we last talked to you. So let's cut into this and just cut a little bit because it's kind of late here tonight. It's after 9 o'clock and we shouldn't be eating anything this sweet so late, but we're making the exception for you. Okay, let's see. We'll slice this a little bit. Slice is so easy. Still a little warm. There you go. Little fork. Take a bite of it. Go ahead, baby. Mm-hmm. Bon appetit.
It's very moist.
Very moist. And that's a nice thing about this cake.
Tasty.
Just enough rum where you can taste it, but not overpowering. Like I used to do in the past. But
It's very good. It's actually very moist.
very moist, and it's going to stay moist. That's the nice thing about this cake. It's not only the most delicious cake you'll ever make, but it's also the easiest, as I showed you what we used to make this. But it'll stay moist for days. It makes a great French toast, believe it or not. If you had it sitting out for a couple of 3, 4, 5 days and starting to get a little the moisture out of it, then make yourself some French toast with it. Very good. Well, that's all for now.
It's very good, baby.
Great taste, good flavor. So we'll see you next time. Y'all take care now, you hear?